Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I want to go over my hospital bag video, which I actually meant to film before having the baby, but here we are almost a month later and that didn't happen because I had him at an unexpected time and never got around to it. But I will say that I think that it was good because now I can tell you what I actually used out of my hospital bag, and here's a spoiler alert. Not very damn much. I feel like I went into it having watched a ton of other hospital bag videos and thought, okay, a lot of people are going very overboard, in my opinion. I know everyone's going to be different, but I felt like there was a lot of things that people were including that I'm like, you don't really need that, or I wouldn't really need it, or it's just extra things, like all these things that I'm like, you don't really need. Like, how long are you staying in the hospital? Like 3 weeks or something? Come on. So I went into it thinking, I'm being super conservative about this. I'm only bringing the bare minimum. I'm not going to have a ton of stuff. And guys, even after all of that, I used a fraction of what I brought with me. So I'm doing this video hoping that if you're watching this and you're wondering what you should bring in your hospital bag, take whatever you think you're going to need and then edit it down further because it's really not that serious. So here's the thing. I did have an unexpected C-section, so that did kind of cut down on some of the things that I brought that I thought that I would need if I were going to have a vaginal delivery, let's say. So kind of go into it knowing that, like, if you are hoping for a natural birth and you end up with a C-section, there's going to be things that you're just not going to use that you would have used if you had a vaginal delivery. Not to say that you shouldn't be prepared, but like, don't bring a ton of stuff for it. Keep it very minimal because you may or may not use those things. So let's get right into this. I did not purchase some fancy new bag for my hospital bag, which I saw a lot of people doing. I mean, more power to you. If you have it in the budget and you want a fancy new bag, go for it. But I just used a Nike duffel bag that I got for my million miler thing at work and threw everything in there. It was perfect size. I actually could have used an even smaller one, but it's a nice sturdy bag. I also saw a lot of people using like actual like suitcases, which blows my mind. I don't know how are you bringing that much stuff with you? I don't know. Not for me. If it's for you, more power to you. The funny part is that whenever we were leaving the hospital, there was another new mom leaving at the same time. And when we were coming down, she was actually in the wheelchair with her child, and her husband was wheeling along one of those like luggage cart things, like from a hotel or whatever, that the hospital had. She had 4 suitcases on that thing, plus a bag that her husband was like carrying on his shoulder. And I was like, holy crap. What on earth did you bring? I don't get that. So don't be that woman. Like, she probably used like 10% of what she brought. So don't do that. So I went into it thinking like, okay, at most I'm going to be in the hospital for 3 days. And I'm also going to be wearing clothing when I go to the hospital. So I wore a nursing bra so that way I would already have one on me so that I wouldn't have to pack that. And then I was also obviously wearing underwear whenever I went there. So I knew that, I would have underwear for that first day or whatever. So I brought 3 extra pairs of panties with me and didn't really think this through all the way. I brought the wrong kind of panties. Now, they weren't like thongs or anything, but they were like, my typical style is like a cheeky style. And they're usually like, they have like lace trim around them, even though they're like usually cotton on the rest of them. Not the most comfortable thing to be wearing, especially if you do have a C-section and you do have like staples or stitches or anything like that. Not the best thing to be wearing. So I was terrified of the lace like catching on things. And I wish that I had brought just like some plain, super plain, just like cotton or microfiber panties with no embellishment whatsoever. But I didn't really own any plain panties before this, so once I got home, I ended up buying more. So that's something that I would say is if you don't own any super plain basic panties, go out and get some more of those to bring with you. So that's a regret. Next up, I saw a lot of people bringing like multiple outfits for their hospital stay. And if you're having a natural delivery, you're probably going to be there like one day. If you're having a C-section, probably 3 days, unless you have further complications. And I get that, like, okay, maybe you would need like 3 outfits, but just keeping it really, really real with you, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to just be in the hospital. Ain't nobody going to be seeing me that I don't really like, that I need to like impress or anything. I'm going to bring one outfit and that's that. And if people get sick of seeing me in the one outfit, then screw them. Like, I'm not going to bring a whole wardrobe of clothing with me to the hospital and be changing every single day. Like, you just delivered a child, take it easy on yourself. So I brought one flowy tank top and one pair of leggings. And I did bring a pair that was more like looser fit. They still, fit like leggings, but they're definitely a lot more stretchy as opposed to some of my leggings that are more like compression leggings. Thinking that like, okay, I might be like swollen or sore or whatever. So I brought that. And I did not even wear the tank top. I didn't even wear the leggings until I went home because I stayed in the hospital gown the whole time. That's it. I'd never changed clothes. Like, I changed my hospital gown. They brought me a new one each day, but I didn't change my clothes at all. And I mean, I'm glad that I brought the one shirt and one pair of pants just in case. But honestly, even if we go back and have another child, like, I'm going to bring the one pair of pants probably, but I'm just going to stay in the hospital gown. Like, I'm not going through this whole crap of like changing clothes and having a freaking fashion show in the hospital. It ain't happening. Whenever I went home, I just wore the shirt that I wore into the hospital that day. So I didn't even end up using the tank top. Next up, I did bring a long, like comfy knit robe. Not like a chunky sweatery robe, but just like a thin, stretchy t-shirt material knit robe. Because I was thinking like, oh, I'll be walking the halls and this and that. And I did get out and walk the halls on like the last day, but I just wore my hospital gown because nobody really cares what you look like in the hospital. So I wouldn't bother to bring that again. Like, I never wore it. I think that I kind of bought too much into this idea that other women were selling online of like, oh, you're going to be, wearing this cute outfit and taking pictures and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, once the whole ordeal was over, that was the last thing on my mind. Next up, I did bring slippers and I did wear those. Those I would highly recommend bringing with you because all they gave me in the hospital was these little like non-skid socks. And I hate wearing socks in general. Like, they make my feet so hot that I can't stand wearing them. And they also were kind of itchy and just not my jam. So I am glad that I brought the slippers, but I do recommend you wearing or bringing slippers that have like a non-skid or like a regular sole on the bottom of them, because they told me I could not walk the halls unless they had the non-skid on them, which they did. So thankfully that worked out, but don't bring like fuzzy bunny slippers that don't have like a sole on them. Next up, I brought a toiletry bag where I put on, it was like one of those, double-sided, like open up toiletry bags. On one side, I put like deodorant for myself and my husband, our toothbrushes, toothpaste, little bottles of like shampoo and conditioner and body wash and blah, 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 all those little like toiletry things. And then on the other side, I put my like postpartum essential things. So I put a few adult diapers. I put some pads. I put nipple cream, the peri bottle, the perineal spray, and some Tux pads. And I did not even open up or use anything on that postpartum essential side at all. Not one single thing. Now, part of that is because I had a C-section, so I didn't need the perineal spray. I also, even though breastfeeding didn't work out for us in the end, but we tried in the hospital, and I never felt like my nipples were like sore or anything like that or dehydrated, so I didn't use the nipple cream, and I didn't have to use the peri bottle because I had a C-section, so didn't use any of it, didn't need the Tux pads, none of it. They did provide me with the adult diaper, well, the mesh underwear type things in the hospital. But to be honest, because I'm a fat girl, they were like one size fits all, and they were teeny tiny. Like, I think if you were anything over like a size 10, they weren't gonna fit you. Like, they were so small. So didn't bother to wear them. So I just wore my underwear with a pad in it, like really long, like puppy pad type of pad is what they gave me, which was great because it really like caught a lot of stuff because there was a decent amount of bleeding the first couple days. So didn't use any of that stuff. And to be perfectly honest, the hospital is going to have all that stuff for you. So there's really no need to bring it unless you're just really married to the fact that you want to use the brands that you bought. I did bring a bag of makeup because I thought to myself, like, okay, I'm not going to do a full face of makeup. I'm not going to be sitting there in the hospital like this. But I do want to wear like maybe some concealer and some mascara, you know, maybe a little bit of like powder or a tinted moisturizer or something like that so that I can look good for pictures and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Didn't freaking care at all about that once I got there. Like, it was the furthest thing from my mind. Last couple things here. I did bring 2 cell phone chargers, one for me, one for my husband, with the really long cords. It worked out for us though that like there was chargers or wall outlets very close, so we didn't need the really long cord, but it's nice to have in case there's not a charger near you, wall outlet, whatever. But honestly, I was on my phone very, very little. I intended to vlog the whole thing and then I didn't because I didn't end up feeling like it. It was not on my list of priorities at that point. And I really didn't spend a whole lot of time on my phone. Like, I was very tired throughout a lot of it before the birth. I was extremely tired after the birth. And then the rest of it was just like caring for our child and not really caring about like checking my phone a lot. And then for the baby, we just brought a few things because I saw a lot of people bringing like an entire whole separate bag of crap for their child. And I was like, no, not happening. So I brought 3 onesies. I brought only one in the newborn size, and then I brought 2 in the 0 to 3 month size because they were actually telling me that my child was going to weigh around 8 pounds, and he ended up coming out at 5 pounds 14 ounces. So it ended up that the newborn one was the only one that fit him because he was swimming in the other 2. And I also brought one of those like Sherpa snowsuit looking things, you know, because we're in Chicagoland. It's very, very cold. It was one of the coldest days of the year whenever we left. There'd just been a snowstorm. So we put him in his onesie and then put him in the little Sherpa hooded, you know, thing. And I brought a hat, but we ended up just leaving with the hospital hat on him. And then I did bring 1 pair of socks, but his little feet were so small that they really didn't even fit. So I just put him in the little footed suit and, you know, that was that. So for him, I just brought the 3 onesies, 1 sock, 1 hat, and then the little outside snowsuit thing. So that's everything that I brought in my hospital bag. And I felt like I was being pretty conservative with it, but I actually ended up only using the nursing bra, which I walked in wearing, the leggings, which I only wore to leave, the slippers that I really only got to wear for like a little bit of the time because most of the time they wouldn't let me out of the bed. And then I used like my deodorant and stuff, my deodorant and my toothbrush and toothpaste, but I didn't even use like the shampoo, the conditioner and all that stuff. And then I used the 1 onesie for him, the 1 snowsuit, and then our cell phone chargers. That's it. Like, I could have fit everything in my purse pretty much. So that's all of my hospital bag absolute essentials. Take it or leave it. Use the information that you need. Leave what you don't. And there you go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe because there will be more mom type of content coming up. Because I have a lot, now that I've actually given birth, I have a lot of information up here that I want to disperse because I watch so many videos from so many other really great individuals, but I feel like now, having gone through it myself, there's things that they didn't cover or that I would do differently. So I want to put that out there so that you guys that are also watching all these other videos can have a little bit more information to take in. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to click that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.